usually on the grand final stage because there's still a lot of kinks to be worked with. And I think this is a good call right now for Boom and Mid to get over with it because someone needs to start pioneering Fracture even more so into
Yeah.
APAC just to keep parity with all the other regions. Masters, it's everyone on the global stage, and someone needs to learn or teach the rest of APAC how to do it. But I've seen though from Boom Esports though, since they're running their Astra, Viper, and Cypher, there's a lot of ways for them to find vacuums on this map. Basically, if they can put a stop to any kind of push or any kind of control options suddenly, well, Boom Esports can also play a bit of that lurk vantage point when you have Frostmind in mind.
I do think that somebody's got to bring Fracture to the table. Maybe not so much as to teach how everybody else how to play it, but maybe feel a little bit more comfortable on it. This first series should be fairly expository as the the level of play that we're gonna expect to see in Fracture for the rest of the tournament. Because let's be honest, if Boom and Made in Thailand, they're a pretty good litmus test as to how well you can play any map in general here in Southeast Asia. So when it comes to Fracture itself, wouldn't be really surprised that it might inspire confidence in a lot of other teams now, as the teams they do have gathered the forces, excuse me, towards B site. Spike will go down. Boom Esports, they're gonna have it without contest. I think it's safe to say they're gonna just be happy to play for retake.
Yeah, Thailand coming in from the spawn side. Berserk's already though with control of the tower. Prodigal duelists from the Indonesian region been showing up here in APAC. See if Berserk can do it, but Dylan burns Blaze King to start things off. Not fireproof apparently from his name. Frostmind though with the final Conqueror. Berserk's now peeking from the staircase. That can be enough to get the takedown onto Kadum. Now meets his doom. 4v2 as Dylan swings on in, but Frostmind and Tempo Tall was able to wrap that one up neatly for Boom. And just because Mid left him onto that site, it was Boom having the better vantage point there.
Yeah, I have to hand it to Berserk. They're playing up on tower. He's able to get a very, very nice double kill under pressure. Oh, look at that. Easy tap. He even gets the dink right before he makes that adjustment. Really well played here from Berserk, showing really why he was worth the investment, worth the trade. You know, we look at Berserk's previously in his other team, Alter Ego. He was always been one of the standouts. But now on Boom, it does feel like he's more in tune with the rest of his surroundings, with the rest of his team. He doesn't always have to top frag ridiculous amounts because he knows the rest of his teammates are also pretty much superstars as well.
Yeah, he was more of a raw talent back in AE, and he has just been refined by his experiences there, his move over to Boom Esports, and just the other addition, Tempotol. He's actually pretty scary as well if you think about it. Just take a drink every time you hear the words Tempotol, because he showed up in the last series against No Namers, if I remember correctly. He just finds so many ways to get the frags through the utilities. For Boom Esports, it's always about that smarter kind of play that they bring here, trying to really increase the aptitude. But Wanna Fly will test the metal of Boom. A good shot there to start things off from the chamber.
Oh, we're already gotten onto site here. No one really to contest, but Wanna Fly's found another. They still have not found him. I don't know if he can pick up another one, but Delen is able to hold on. Finally, dispatch of Wanna Fly here, and Berserk gets another double
30 seconds
to make
left.
things safely possible. But the swing out gonna be met with harsh resistance, and that pain shell's gonna do it for Delen there. Good bonus round, no, sorry, good eco round, but they lose 3, so maybe not so good.
Well, Thailand made it costly. It all started with this Wanna Fly just lining up the headhunter anyway, and you have someone on the chamber. You expect them to hit those taps for such an efficient way. I noticed though for Made in Thailand here on this defense, they kind of want to play a bit more on the aggressive side also. That's what the Brimstone can entail. The players like Berserk, he's just having so much attitude right now from the angles that we're seeing. Throw the paint shells out, flush out the opposition, forcing Dylan to actually push on in. It was winnable. He said it was costly for Boom. Now though, the rifles are out for Made in Thailand. Maybe we're gonna get more of a, I'd say, stronghold resistance. Already Doom with a few shots. Facials are there trying to wrap around the screen. And it's Wanna Fly with a takedown. Flips the dirt though. Answers back versus the race. And on the inside, surprise, it's Dylan.
So 3v4 here as the Pistols doing enough work to get at least one kill. They'll be happy with one more. But they've gotten another after Frostmine hits a shot onto Della and took a couple of tries, but he got there eventually. Now Blaze King virtually dead, already literally dead. Now Tebatol has managed to pick up a rifle. Doesn't really lead to very much at the end though.
He followed the path and he's like, okay, I guess there's someone here now. Esports giving up that round, and the better contact play here from Made in Thailand. They have these players right now staying away from some of the Astro Smoke setups from the side of Boom. And while there is that kind of nebula play to blockade the middle part of the map, there's still so many spots wall-bangable on the site, especially right behind the Radiant Knight. And if you're just spotted by any single player, anyone staying either into that cubby or in the tower itself, that's already enough intel for the suppressing fire to come from the spawn side of the defense. But here we have it, go again. Rifles now are out for both sides, and we'll be finding a lot of the economy for the rest of this half. You can see it here though, 2 ultimates available from Made in Thailand, and one of them is going to be a big one, the Orbital Strike. If we see Boom just convincingly go to a site and set up on it, it might be suddenly a laser from the sky to zone them out from it.
2-1 as Made in Thailand is going to start things off. Wanna Fly yet again gets the opening pick, is able to get out of their rendezvous as the rest of the members of Boom will be making that connection. Wanna Fly can't get up this time. Misses the shot. That's a little bit more of a path towards that B site. Not really many defenders, so they will have to go for a 4-4-man retake here. I think the site is already claimed. Now they should know that there's nobody here. They're waiting patiently to get the spike on towards the site. This is a very difficult site to hold on to, and that's the Orbital Strike to delay the plant even more. They still get it down, but Frostmine nearly loses his life as he exits that plant.
Yeah, it's just way too hot to handle that laser, but you can see that Boom adjusted accordingly, puts it more onto the corner. Made in Thailand baited out. Gonna launch the Brimstone ult at that point. Aftershock now is the play. Here comes Rush on, and Stim Beacon is set on up. But the Pain Shells to stop the push of Made in Thailand. And Berserk tries to hold the line, but it's Dylan and Conga Red seeing the kills for them. Tebatol Frostbite now with a trade. Here comes the Neural Theft to get the intel, but Tebatol! Where did you come from? From the middle, bottling up the opposition. And now it's just Boom Esports uncorking the celebration for the round.
You see how the tiny things just make a big difference in that round. I do want to point out Kadoom. He actually did clip that staircase, and I think it was just the difference of him getting around the corner, getting that trade frag. And instead of actually, and then he just got peeked from the side instead. So Boom Esports, well played on that one. They do manage to keep themselves afloat here. Let's take a look at the numbers. Still 0 kills on Kadoom and Blaze King. Very early on in the game, so still not too much to worry about. At the very end, at the very tippy top though, you got players like Wanna Fly, who have been getting the earliest picks time and time again. This is something that Boom will have to address if they want to make sure that they keep their advantages in the game early. Especially when an operator comes out like this, the Tour de Force, you need to be able to find a way to identify where Wanna Fly is and stop him from taking those early 1v1s.
Now they know that he's gonna be coming in from the B side, and a quick repel here from Boom to come from the south instead. One thing to notice though, on a map like Fracture where Nasuva is not really that necessary, it's really interesting that it's Blaze King on that Astral, flexing over to something of a second controller. Flipster also, we know his renown from NXL back to that Raze, but lately here for Boom Esports, as he's really acclimated to the roster, being one of their more older additions. Play things like the Initiators, play things something like the Viper, and for Boom Esports, that kind of evolution for their agent pool, something to watch out for. But see if the comfort can actually be a factor here. Rolling Thunder though to start things off now. Dylan, he finds 2. What kind of angle does he take? Conqueror also on the board. Crossfire is set on up, and as Kadoom drops on down, it's Alone Pills who drops Tebatol as well. Boom Esports walking into the meat grinder, and all you need is a sheriff apparently for Dylan to defend.
I have to really point it out, man. Conga Red, that one piece of utility he threw up, the fragment, it bought so much time for for Myth to be able to respond to that and get into position for the defense. And really, that's one of the problems if you're executing here on Fracture. picking one area of attack to come in from. That's gonna definitely make it much more difficult. I'm surprised they didn't even try to go through door. They didn't even try to, make a path around rope. They just straight up hit through main, and that obviously cost them because they did use the Rolling Thunder. But yeah, you still got Conga Red, who was able to dish out a fragment and slow you down for like what was 4 seconds, I think.
There's so many pulses from it, right? And I completely agree with you. This is a map where you have so many openings as the attacking side. You can even start on the other side of the map if need be. But since Boom Esports there really stack things up, they're going to be walking into many of the, I'd say, oppressive factors that the Made in Thailand roster has. It's not just the fragment that can be a factor. There's a second molly in the form of the incendiary of the brimstone. You have to keep an eye out for the paid shells. There's still the trademarks. And if Boom Esports is actually just going to be coming in from a single angle, it will only take 1 to 2 players to actually stall it out and allow mid to have that time to go for the rotation. And it's pretty straightforward. When you want to rotate on Fracture, you just go cut through the middle, cut through your spawn, and you're already there to help out the rest of your teams. And I think that's one thing that Boom Esports might want to capitalize on moving forward. Since there's so many of these different angles, perhaps they can just make the pinches work again and again to try and stop the value of the mid utility.
Yeah, it just goes to show what I know, because earlier on before the game, I was like, oh, this is Boom's map pick here in Fracture. I'm certain they're gonna bring a lot of multifaceted, 2-prong, 3-prong approaches as they try to get onto the side on the attacking side. Well, now they're just gonna rush towards A main on the gun round, but at least Rendezvous is able to get Wanna-Fly out of there. So gonna be another 5v5 retake situation. It's already a win here for Boom, if you ask me, because they got the spike down.
Yeah, money in the bank, and the thing is, if they want to get a few kills, there is still the showstopper, but the thing is, they're committing on the round. Close quarters engagement. Those are just classics and shares for the Viper Spit now. Give a chance for Boom to keep that range parity as much as possible, but to Doom now to go on the inside. A few lurks here for Boom Esports though. Frostbite win the dig onto one. Conqueror goes down, but Thailand still holding steadfast. Two already for the Brimstone, letting him have the showstopper there, the orbital strike rather, the showstopper now from Berserk. Lets it loose over onto Dylan, but he tags it for Kadoom. Alone fills with the takedown, but Tevatol, the aftershock comes on through, and it finds enough time for Boom Esports to steal it away. What a clutch moment again from Tevatol. Where does he even come from? He's just slithering around this B site.
That's absolutely ridiculous what we just saw, man. From Berserks, I definitely think we should take another look. See the... Oh my god, it just bought enough time. I think they did stall out a little bit too long on the retake for Myth. But Berserks with that showstopper, getting the kill onto the player in front of him, into Dylan instead of Kadoom.
Dylan's like the Secret Service. Kadoom is the Mr. President. He's like, get down.
Yeah, he's like, I could see the slow-mos, like, dive!
Dive! Kadoom! No! but it doesn't matter, because he got hit by the aftershock from the other side of the wall. It's just so heartbreaking, because Boom had another plan.
That was an anime moment. That was like, oh, you dodged my showstopper. But I have a secret weapon, a trap card. Aftershock from the behind.
Right behind you. Nothing personnel, kid.
That was a roller coaster of a round for sure. But the rest of this match is certainly shaping up to be.
Can't wait. Can't wait to see it, because it's unbelievable. Boom actually making a play just on the eco round. And now this should give them the advantage moving forward. But Made in Thailand has built up a sizable bank and has the arsenal now. Wanna-Fly is just chasing Berserks. And he actually does get the takedown. The Frostmind is there at least to trade it out. He does know Dylan is just crouching around. Blazing though finds the angle now. Will get a takedown to get on the board. Cosmic Divide to give them the space and the quiet to set on up yet again towards that B site. The rest of it now. Oh, the waiting game for Kadoom will spell his own demise. Blaze King now heating on up.
Yep, yeah, Kadoom, this is not his game right now. At 7 rounds in, I think he's scarcely got a kill. It's 2v4 though. Retake commences with Blaze King.
You're welcome.
I think we'll put a lid on this coffin. It's now a 1v3, and alone fills very, very much so at this point. We'll have to just I'd say give up this round, go for the save. They know that Myth's economy is in the absolute gutter, so they're gonna have to just help him keep that Vandal alive up until the next round.
Kind of awkward though for Alone Fills because he's one away from the Rolling Thunder. In a better scenario, maybe he'd want the duel to try and get it, at least what you mentioned it. Eco-wise, Made in Thailand, not gonna be made men for now. It's 5-2 as Boom Esports is, well, proving powers of their utilities can be effective because we saw in the last round, it was just how strong the breach can really be for that holdover set the Cubby. And this time, that's what the Cosmic Divide can entail. As soon as you're given that side control anyway, then you have a big wall to block it, anyone peeking from the middle. And if you notice, Made in Thailand loves to actually stop contesting too much for that tower. They're happy to play that retake there, especially when you have Deland and Conga Red in your lineup for those agents. Still doesn't matter though for Boom Esports because as soon as they get that foothold, they know how to set on up with their double control lineup here.
Yeah, the double controller lineup is just really working out here for Boom Esports. They're, able to go for fakes. They can just afford to throw down this Viper wall anytime they want to, and then just depend on the Astra utility later on. It's very, it's very comfortable for them. And I do imagine that this kind of playstyle, this kind of lineup will change over time. I do think that they might start replacing the Astra, considering an Omen, depending on how things go with, the agent. Just because there's just already so much global map control that is available for them, and with the fragging capabilities of Boom, the sky's the limit as they make this approach towards B side. They found much success on it prior, so they might want to just continue that trend. As Flip Jadurk, he's gonna get the opening pick onto Del, and now that the B side fairly open, Tebatal will follow up onto Kadoom, who once more gets flanked, and that's just, I'd say, already the round here. I don't see this retake happening, not with this weaponry that they have on the mid side.
I mean, unless you get a Lone Fills to pop off, but you mentioned it. Now we're getting, though, the two-prong attacks here from Boom. We're getting more of the pinches. But Conga Red running on around it, tap the Blaze King. Well, that's going to be absolutely painful. Null Command now is available if they choose to do so, but Tebatal from the underpass catches out one to fly. Apparently, he's just one to die right now. And Boom Esports, they're just coming in from the walls. Conga Red, though, he's not done. One of the standouts there from the AA roster back, and Conga Red now seeing red and seeing three. Fragment, though, to go for the stall. Tries to break the blast back, though. Taps it. He's the one pushing. And a double stay there from the side of Boom. That could have been an ace clutch for Conga Red. But Berserks will just calm the KO down and put him down for Boom to get another round.
Yeah, I am really not feeling good about Kadoom in this game. He must be feeling absolutely awful. He's just not having a good day. It happens. He's 0-7, and it just doesn't see any, there's just no signs of him warming up. Every single round he's getting killed from the flank. Every single round he's just missing opportunities. But it's just not going his way. They definitely need him to step up because we're 9 rounds in. And it's, on your duelist, something needs to change. We finally see the showstopper and the operator come out for Kadoom, so everything is set up for him now. If he doesn't get a kill in this round, man, it's going to be heartbreaking.
He has everything he needs to succeed. It's like you just make sure that someone has scholarship to college, but wanna fly. He's just gonna fly on away as soon as he peeks it.
Every round he gets one.
He's just so snappy. It's so quick. I like the fact that for Made in Thailand, though, that because they are that retake centric right now, they aren't that eager for the kills. But what a fly, finally showing more of his fangs. And 4 already falls to his name. Lone Fills will wrap it up. But Made in Thailand, they were going to be making that round convincing.
Well, it's a Herculean effort from WannaFly to be able to bring it back. Did, however, steal maybe Kadoom's thunder in that one that I think he was destined to get a kill in that round. But, when you win rounds like this, WannaFly definitely should inspire the rest of the team to be like, yo, we can do this. If I can get a 4K in one round all on my own, without really any backup, the rest of you should be able to do fine. Now, I want to point out, WannaFly along with Conga Red, these guys have been playing together for quite a minute here. We used to see them play in a lot of other teams. Now that they're back together here and Made in Thailand, this is certainly the farthest they've gone in a very, very long time. I think more than a year, in fact.
Yeah, a little bit of a hump, honestly, for that Foxy roster back when in 2021 to try and make it. to that stage, and it's good to see the AAA, standouts from AAA actually show on up. And also, for Boom Esports, that's a standout moment for Cirques. With the takedown onto Zealot, Doom now spotted again, set up for success, but falling on that first step. It's Boom Esports going for that B site, and well, I think this is a safe time for Made in Thailand. You notice though that the round that Mid took a while ago was just single stack from Boom Esports, and players like Waterfly, they can just keep the momentum going as soon as they get the kill, right? But we see it here. Every single time we get the more two-prong attack from Boom, we get that kind of pinch, and Made in Thailand is forced to look at so many different angles at the same time.
Yeah.
It just really can't stand to the firepower of Boom Esports.
Look, I think a lot of it just has to do with the fact that Boom Esports have a much more solid understanding of Fracture. Look at how they're approaching each and every site. They've played this a lot. They've clearly done a lot of lab on this. And meanwhile, Myth, they're the rounds that they've won convincingly are the ones where A, Wanna kills everyone, B, Boom Esports just ran through A main. So there's not a lot of convincing defense, defense here for Made in Thailand, shown us that they can play against this multi-faced, multifaceted offense of Boom Esports, especially not with Kadum getting absolutely stepped on each and every single round. Look, a lot of it is not him, you know. That last peak came down to timing where he was peeking right, suddenly it was Frostmine who swings left. Sometimes it's just the game.
You know, maybe it's too early in the morning. We'll get there. It'll get there. Come on, Made in Thailand made it to that second seed anyway, and Kadum was a big part of their success lately. Wouldn't be too surprised to see him pop off into, well, the rest of the game. But I think we're in a bit of a pause right now.
Yeah.
Made in Thailand, they kind of just need to take that first step, Ilu. I really feel like they just need to desync the Boom Esports push, because when you have all these mollies, all these ways to stop perhaps the initial wave of Boom Esports, but we're not getting it because they're not really zoning them out with the utilities. They're not putting fire in the way, fragment grenades in the way. And it's just simply for Made in Thailand, if you can just do one thing like that, one utility, they can concentrate their forces on the other side of the map for their Boom Esports push.
I actually think that they can make this a fairly respectable halftime score. It feels a lot like a wider gap. It certainly feels like it's a 8-4, like a 9-3 potential already, like maybe even a 10-2. But it's not the case. Myth could actually, after this timeout, they could take this to a 7-5, win the pistol, and suddenly we're dead even. It's just the nature of this map, man.
Yeah, I think it still is that familiarity. You make that point because we're basically pioneering a few things with this matchup, with this series, and Kadum, a little too early on the interception. Just no one spotted but Wanna. He just does not die. He finds two there. Now Berserk will get the angle, but there's Dylan for the trade, and Made in Thailand said, screw it, let's just go on the aggression here. This is big for Made in Thailand because now they're holding on to the spike, and they will be watching out for the angles here as much as possible. Blazeking gonna be doubling up with Flipster. And it's Blazeking who does get the takedown all on the eastern quadrant of the map. They're setting up the stars, they're setting up the smoke. And if this can't be controlled for Boom Esports, they might be able to still shoot their way out of this one. But here comes Kadum, finally getting on the board. Flipster now to the corner. Aftershock will zone him out. Snakebite though for the bounce, and to stay away from the poison. And because of that, apparently Myth who finds the antidote to this Boom Esports attack. 4-7, and you said it, there is still that chance to try and make that round to tie things up.
Yeah, a very hopeful round. Kadum gets his first kill, and that should already start to stimulate his mental, his confidence here. Yeah, it's a long way to go. It's a mountain to climb in this game, but certainly a kill is the way to start it. Now, however, Wanna, he's at 14-7. He's definitely the shining light on his team, especially on the defensive side. But soon we're going to be shifting over to the attack. I'm going to see how that plays out, if he can still keep that, fragging capability once we switch up.
Yeah, might be even a faster pace here for Made in Thailand. When we get to that second half, noticing the Breach and KO setup can allow players like the Doom and even Wanna to just rush on into the sites. But one last chance here for Boom Esports to make a mark on the attack. And he has been for Boom and has been for success. But Wanna always here to try. And Flipshooter is the one to die there instead. So 4v5 now. They have the tour force available, but they want to go for a few snipes. 1 kill away for Dylan to get that orbital strike will be big. He can get it to the tower, but Blaze King will get one. Tries to transfer, but the Wonderfly is still nigh unstoppable. Frostmind now up on top, trying to think of what Maiden Thailand can bring here. But there we have the 0 point now. Boom Esports staying in the arcade instead. Frostmind though taking the attention, sets up the cyber cage, and here comes the fragment to try and catch any kind of peek. This is now the deep from Dylan. Gets halfway, first strikes with peek. Templeton gets on the board as well, but Wonderfly already getting a 3. Conquer Red, Boston and Frostmind, and Templeton is the one to stand tall every single time here for the Boom Esports B sites.
Yeah, Templeton again putting up another stellar hold there. He's able to really lock down that area. I do want to give props once more to Wannafly, who did start it off with a 4v5 yet again. But it's starting to matter less and less, the early peak, because now, the early kill, because Tebatal and the rest of Boomer are starting to figure out how to respond to it. I do think the rest of the members here of Myth, Wannafly is going to be asking, listen guys, I'm going to need you to step it up a little bit here. They are sitting a little bit more quiet. And sure, the rest of the members are support players. Well, majority of them, but Dylan's doing absolutely fine on his own. He's got a couple of great holds. But now we switch on over to the attacking side. The weight now has to fall onto the duelist of Maiden Thailand. Kadoom has to step up massively, especially in a map like Fracture, where his showstopper will be needed a lot of the time, where his utility, where his frags will be of utmost importance.
You're talking about the duelist, and I agree, Kadoom does need to step it up for the takedowns. But I'm looking forward to if Maiden Thailand has enough map aptitude to actually play it similarly for Boom Esports, because what really gives Boom Esports a success? Sure, they can get the takedowns early on, but these post plants, it's the crazy post plants that we get here from Boom. Tebotol is just everywhere and anywhere, being absolutely efficient with his breach utilities, and that just shows map mastery, right? That he knows what angles he can get away with, and he was able to stall for so long and give a tactical advantage for the repeaks there from Boom Esports. Will we get that here from Maiden Thailand right now? I'm looking at Alone Fills and Conga Red to do that kind of job, because they have shown that they can set things up, especially for Conga Red, some of the fragments to stall things out. We've seen some 0 points as well for a few suppresses along the way. But really, if they're going to be putting that spike down, I think it still has to be that kind of same game here for Maiden Thailand, that they're able to navigate around the map, use the utilities through the walls, use the utilities, some lineups there to help them out. Because if they just keep on dueling, Boom Esports can give themselves the advantage heavily, since they still have that support crew of Blaze King and Flipshooter to cut up the battlefield.
Yeah, you're absolutely right there, Dax. I do think Tebatal has been stepping up massively, especially in the post plants, but a lot of that as well came from the fact that the controller here, Flipshooter and Blaze King, just gave so much access to those sites that everybody really knowing their job, making them look like a very well-oiled machine. So what's Myth's plan here? Looking like they just want to stay and spawn and wait for a little bit of a push.
They're going on a magical ride. It's one big rope. Have you ever been on like a long zip line, Ilu?
Yeah, I have, but not a very well, maybe not a long one like those crazy ones, but certainly a zip line. Okay, maybe it was more like 2 ropes that I tied to my room.
And just tried to make
bed
it work.
sheets, actually. But
I'm gonna tell you a story. When I was a kid, I really hate those kind of heights, and not even zip line, just a cable car. I cried the whole way from one mountain to the other.
I love cable cars, but they were very scary.
They are scary. It's just like you're so high up, and then everyone was just looking at me. I think I was like 8 years old. My mom just like looked at me and be like, what are you doing? Why are you like this?
What are you doing?
I'm scared. Well, in Thailand, we'll see now what they're doing here as they go for a push. But Flipshooter is right there, and you say access, but I say restriction here from both because Flipshooter will stop MITH in their tracks. Tebotol there as well, but one Poison Cloud has already blockaded any kind of hope and insight here for Maiden Thailand.
Flipshooter with just those stylish right clicks, isolating those fights perfectly just around the box. That is definitely a highlight. We want to take a look at that yet again. Look at the first shot he lands here. Perfection. Nice shot to the dome. He's able to get another one. Sure, the distance was a little bit questionable, but that third one was chef's kiss. Could have been a fourth. Somebody stole his gun.
You know why that worked? It's also because of his snake bite. It was perfectly timed, and Made in Thailand got afflicted by the vulnerable state along the way. So from afar, the right click gets double damage, amplified there. And this is why you gotta take your meds, take your vitamins in the morning, because it's just a poison pill that Flipster will make you swallow. So well played there by the Viper. It's 9-4 as Boom Esports. They're the ones holding all the access cards right now here to Fracture. Made in Thailand, they're just trying to find any way to get that clearance.
Difficult map has been made even more so after that pistol win here from Boom. I was really about to say that, you know, my Made in Thailand, they needed that pistol. But after that, things are just looking scarier and scarier. Boom is showing why that they've chosen this map. They're so comfortable on it. I think a lot of teams after this match are going to be looking at Boom and being like, okay, maybe let's not play Fracture against them. Certainly there are rounds, there are instances where you can say, oh, we might be able to beat them here and there. But I think overall, they've presented just this game to us that looks very well rounded, that it was, you know, everybody contributing, and it's very scary, I think, for any team to go up against.
It's looking like when Boom dropped those rounds rather, in the first half, it does feel like that they were just made a fatal error along the way. But here we have it now. Pinch comes on in from Made in Thailand, nothing much to lose. They only have the classics anyway. High time though to set up from the drop. It will be Tebotol to answer closely, but Lone Phil's jumping with Zealot.
10 seconds left.
There, waiting to get that 2K anyway. The gun advantage now screaming at Made in Thailand to get the hell out of that A side. Teleports to peak. Thanks to Page Shells. Blazing is there to catch his life. And with the Lone Phil's now all alone, play the smallest violin in the world, because it's a sad song here for Made in Thailand. They did at least get that spike planted. They at least got a kill. But for Boom Esports, it's just another instance where they're ready for it. Every single time here on the defense we've seen so far, it hasn't been that clean stick from Made in Thailand. And this is what I was talking about a while ago, looking for some of the utilities to stifle a push from one side and then try to catch out the other instead. And we saw it there, the Page Shells on one end, Tebotol catching the players from drop, and this has just been quite a show of force so far here, courtesy of Boom.
It's very much a game where you look at it and say, yeah, this is pretty much a stomp. But then you start to look at the numbers, you start to look at a lot of those rounds, and the rounds did, for I'd say a lot of them, end up with like the 1v1s and the 1v2s. It's just those marginal differences that Made in Thailand have came out under. But look at this A main rush, just straight up hit towards the side. Nobody really coming in from elsewhere. We saw this. It's pretty much a mirror of what Boom Esports brought previously, but can Myth show them how it's done this time? It's looking like it, as a Lone Phil actually does get a kill. Doom follows up with a double when his team needs him. Very, very problematic for the defense here on Boom. Okay, Kadoom finding a third. Yeah, it is the bonus round, however, sure, but any confidence kills that he can find, he'll take.
There you have it. Maybe the afternoon rush coming in for Kadoom, as Made in Thailand will flawlessly execute that A-tick. All he needed was to get up on that tower, and he was just nigh unstoppable. We can see it here for Kadoom. This was a position of absolute confidence, and the Rolling Thunder helping him go for the resets, just find ways to reflick, see the angles. And since you're seeing here from Boom Esports, they're trying to anticipate anyone on site rather than that tower. It gives Kadoom that extra bit of time to click on the round, go for the takedowns. A confident round taken there by Made in Thailand. It's one of the most convincing rounds we've really seen from them, besides their defensive holds against the single prong pushes, courtesy of Boom Esports. So there's a glimmer of hope right now for Made in Thailand. And just to go back to your point a while ago, before the action started, Wanna Fly, though this lurk does not work out, this Blaze King will get that takedown. And it just has been a bit of the outplay from Boom Esports, because Made in Thailand, they understand their plan. They would go for the retakes now. They try and play for those. And Kadoom again getting on the board. You gotta be careful though, because Berserk's now looking to start the barrage. Kadoom though still not done. The showstopper flies. It won't make Blaze King die. Here comes Berserk though. He's still fighting on back. Ace style gonna be able to get the catch. Okay. And Kadoom has just brought in truly the doom of Boom Boom Esports, a curse inflicted after all these rounds.
Well, certainly the curse looks like it has been lifted for Hadoom, because he seems to be much more confident after those couple of kills. He even fucked an ace from, you know, not even getting a single kill for, what, 8 rounds. He's managed to bring himself an ace. And his team another round, getting them closer and closer to tying that scoreline up. Certainly still a hill to climb. Not an impossibility. Do you want to go back on its Kadoom play? Take another look at it.
There's so much power on the attack side. The whack, he's just willing to peek things, then know how to flush out these corners. And really, Berserks, that was a admirable effort towards that aiming, because it stopped the Made in Thailand push from cascading straight to the site. But Kadoom, just the raid boss of a round, not unstoppable. Well, Made in Thailand here. Feel like their raise is back on the board.
Yeah.
And this is exactly what they need to get back in this game. Everyone contributing. And Kadoom going above and beyond for the past few rounds here so far. Boom Esports, though, even though it's an eco state, these guys are quite cheeky at what they want to play. And if we get Flip Shooter, perhaps it gets the Viper Spit. Can help them out on the retake if ever. But Conga Red walking down to the tunnel. And the one who sees the light will be the KO. As Made in Thailand will get that first frag.
Now they're just gonna go straight on towards that B site. No hesitations. The moment they get that pick, it's a sign of go. No room for hesitation here, but Frostmind managed to get a pick. He actually gets a second one. Great stun and great tag. A combination of this utility has just been phenomenal for the Boom side. Alone Fields, 1 HP. If he gets shot down, it's gonna be a 2v3. Certainly very much possible, as
30 seconds
now
left.
They're playing a little bit slower, a little bit more patiently. They have control over the spike. Conga Red getting a third. They are going to be playing farther back on the mid side here. If it forces an ulti from the mid side, actually will keep them, I'd say, fairly safe for now, preventing any untoward pieces of utility. But still, Tebotol, you mentioned, he's coming from the side. He gets another one. The stun comes out. He's trying to find more, but he's waiting for his team to make that connection for him. Here comes the fault line. It does come through. WannaFly finds him. It's gonna double for WannaFly. Tebotol will trade it back, though, but how did he die?
Since he was in the ultimate, right?
Oh, right. He
couldn't make it in time.
Yeah.
He shut down right out of laptop battery. Unlucky. You know what's unlucky though? Kadoom just walking into with the paint shells. They kind of have to anticipate that Boom Esports is willing to hold on to that tower since they have that double control set up. And you gotta give it to Tebotol. Every single time on that B side, he will make an impact. That looks scary for Made in Thailand later on after the flank. But someone reliable is still there for the mid roster. And it's WannaFly making sure that Boom Esports would die. So a bit of a timeout here yet again. Made in Thailand now, getting the rally that they need. As soon as they got the guns here, Ilo, they have been stepping on up. Kadoom there, finding the takedowns. WannaFly is still as consistent. And even though Boom Esports is able to make wonders happen in some of their eco rounds, still doesn't matter because Made in Thailand has a bit of a bank right now. They're looking for the round wins anyway. And right now, they're also understanding some of the more initial positions that Boom Esports wants to run. So if Boom can't actually stop Made in Thailand in their tracks, once Made in Thailand is able to sniff out what the Astra's trying to do, what the Viper's trying to do, it will make their lives so much easier for the peaks. And we've seen for Made in Thailand, if they get that vantage point, if they get that vision, they can contend well versus Boom Esports.
Yeah, information game really has been key to success here for Made in Thailand. And I do think that they have been doing a good enough job at finding out the information that they need, finding the information they need rather, before they make any hard decisions. Very rarely do they ever make rash and uninformed decisions, especially on a map like Fracture, where so many things can just go wrong at any given moment. You know, they're doing a good job of keeping every single facet in check. And now taking a timeout here, I do imagine it will be from Boom. I've taken a lot of losses in a row, so we'll be taking a little bit of a short time to think about what they can do to come back into this. A lot of the members of Myth now stepping up. Kadoom has managed to find 10, by the way.
Yeah, like an ace and what, a quad?
A quad and then a kill.
So it's like 1 kill in the first half. And then suddenly the 9 shows up in the last 2 rounds. Last 2 out of 3.
Bless. This is exactly when, just when we say, like, okay, attacking side Kadoom, he's going to need to step up. He's going to need to be the person, the point person that they look to get those frags. Well, lo and behold, he's got a 9 frags in a couple of rounds.
Yeah, well, there you go. That kind of efficiency what Made in Thailand's looking for. But now he gets back into the game. With a little tech pause there, but everything's still fine. And that Viper Spit, that shape reminds me of something. Wow. A little sussy there.
It looks like a Space Invader.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe it's an alien?
Yeah, the Space Invader.
Yeah, the top-down one? Totally.
Yeah.
Nothing sussy about that statement.
Exactly.
Exactly.
There.
It looks like
Where'd you go in?
Elephant. I see an elephant.
Where's the trunk? I can see the body.
Yeah.
But not the trunk. If we have Flip Jitter turns
Flip
around,
Jitter is the trunk with the...
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It's his inward, right? If he turns around, looks to the right, I will believe you.
Yeah. Okay. This is why we're in esports.
We're here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Bomb buddy out.
Well, the camera is actually able to not tag the one, but it does get a lot of information. They are throwing out a lot of utility here. That's the ultimate coming in right here. The orbital strike deployed.
30 seconds
It's
left.
only for an open site. There's nobody even waiting here. There's gonna play it for a retake. And here comes the... Okay. Nobody really get... Okay, they hit Deland with it. And they're gonna be able to get a nice shot. Kadoom, Meti is really popping off. Conga Red from the flank. Very isolated. And very nicely done here. It forces a save call early on, but Dax... It was a perfect read here and a well thought out, thorough execution from the Made in Thailand side that really just ran over and caught Boom off guard.
Yeah, it's huge because that orbital strike, even though there's no one there, it prevents the rotate from happening completely because from 1 to 2, basically, you go to the spawn, you can try and split on up to the rope, to the main itself of that A site. But when you have something that big, something like the operator that we've seen from Berserks, it can't really get value because he doesn't have the sight lines. And not only that, the lurk from in behind to just get the punish. They knew that Boom Esports would have to go back to that site anyway from the Viper Spit. But Berserks will make it costly though. Doesn't really matter too much for Made in Thailand. They were hungry to get that kill. If they could get that operator, it would have been even better. Just a little bit of jam on that Fred, basically. Didn't get it though. Berserk's such a potent force to begin with. But back to my point, Made in Thailand forcing the Viper Spit to dissipate, just able to have enough time anyway if they're hit by that Rolling Thunder, and that's what it all started with. Just because of one big laser in the sky, it was able to buy enough time for Made in Thailand to have that leeway in the first place to get rid of the Boom advantage. And just goes to show here in the attack, Made in Thailand looking so much more comfortable, and they're not allowing Boom Esports to go for any of those real post-plant shenanigans that you can expect from someone like Tempotol, someone like Blaze King, and they're forcing the action early on where they can take advantage of it.
Yeah, indeed. And right now, though, a little bit of a stall here. Playing close into smoke. Blaze King finds one. Runs out of bullets. About as much as you expect to get with a Frenzy. Fairly well played already. Buys time for the rotation to come in, and the operator on Berserks, he held onto it and got a lot of kills for it. They're going to be wanting to make full use of it. They're going to send him all the way back towards 8th. The right call, because all the members of Made in Thailand, they've already made the rotation here. They're going to put him on top of ropes. The operator will be waiting there. There's already 3 people here to defend.
Flip Jitter has his setup ready. Snake bite there with the Poison Cloud. Bit of the decay, bit of the debuff as well. But Berserk's now peeking for it. Finally, Dylan goes down. The operator now making its mark. Boom
30 seconds
Esports
left.
getting the right rotation at the right time. Great stalls here from the Breach and the Viper. Berserk's though not done. He heated on up on those X's a while ago. And now he's getting the impact that he needs, but Wanna Fly still with a try. It's the find and the takedown onto Tempotol, kicking the last shards. And he goes for another one. 12 seconds left though, and Made in Thailand now caught out from the different angles. And a thrifty victory here for Boom Esports. The stopgap method though, courtesy of Boom. I still gotta give it to Tempotol and Flip Jitter because these two guys have been consistently, I'd say, impactful with the utilities. And for B side, it was held by the Breach. Here on A side, it's held by the Viper. And neither side made Thailand could get the clear path they wanted.
Really well done there by Wanna Fly yet again, but just Too many on the number side here for Boom as they find themselves at 11. They secure it. Flips Jadur with a very good impact on that round as well. He's not exactly the highest fragging player right now, but how many times did we see him have that one crucial piece of utility, that one snake bite, just made the round so much more difficult for Made in Thailand and saved his team. But go towards A right now as the spike comes in, but okay. Very interesting that he still somehow manages to survive. Flip Jadur. His teammates actually are doing the kills, and everybody's just falling apart. 2v2 out of nowhere. Rolling Thunder deployed. Actually, one player does get knocked up, and that's going to be Alone.
No, all alone now. A little sad. But we got the APAC scrap there just happening on that A site. As soon as Made in Thailand went through the poison cloud, they were willing for the duel. But in the end, since Boom was the one who got that first kill, they had the initial momentum for the fight, and the trades for trade system that we expect, especially from the SEA side, it just happens there. Really goes to show though that these smokes, these controllers from Boom Esports, they're absolutely impactful. This is where the scoreboard doesn't really tell the full tale, because many times in their takes and their holds, we just see it there that it's just because of the Viper setup, just because of the Astra setup. They don't get an assist for it on the scoreboard. But Boom Esports knowing what to do on the job. But now they have to wrap it up nicely. It's 2v1. But Berserk's peeking first. And Alone Phil's apparently able to just keep it out in solidarity. But Tebatal showing what the Breach can really do overall. In that instance, it's an easy frag now to put Boom Esports on map point.
Well, map point here as that really came down way too close. Good thing Tebatal staggered his peak a little bit. The hesitation from Alone definitely cost him the round, but still a very good endeavor. Very good attempt at that. Taking a look again at the highlights, we did just see a lot of it was... I thought this was it. I thought the moment that the Rolling Thunder did come out, he would peek on top of it, maybe get one kill, isolate that 1v1, but no, decides to use it to make a full rotation instead.
You want to play?
Let's play. Wrong fault to go for that B site. Just the timing, right? You don't expect that they're coming in for the double stab anyway. Yeah. Since it was just built that 1v1.
Also his positioning. It was a one and done.
Yeah, it's a one and done. When you're caught there, you really have to duel, right? And that's the problem there for Alone Phils. Giving the round to Boom Esports. Overall, though, just Boom with the right call also early on. Ready for the duels, ready for both angles. And now, they're even telling us to watch this, because we have to watch there as the Cypher and the Viper looking to play a bit more aggressive. Interesting enough, though, there's tripwires and a toxic screen set up here by Boom Esports towards that A site. So if it is going to be an aggress from Made in Thailand from the south side, chance to put that plant, yes, but the retake gonna be more efficient here for Boom if ever. Triple stacked also towards that B side. Slower play from mid, because they know if they mess up now, they're gonna be losing out in this map, and they need to figure out where Boom is set up on.
There you go, as Ultimate now comes in, KO.
30 seconds left.
Doom will look to entry. Boombot, oh no, it misses. White still sees him, still wins. And Kadoom has actually managed to find the kill onto Blaze King, opening up B entirely. Well played shot as well. Great flick. Now they want to push the envelope even more. Congo Red will spot on one, given more information. Snake bite. Let's come out, we'll force out whoever player is in towards tower. They're really throwing all their utility to make sure they have the control over tower. Showstopper to fight back. Buy a little bit more time, if anything. It has successful. It has worked. It's forced a save call.
It buys the round. It's like, okay, we're out. See ya. They did get the operator though here for the side of Boom, so at least they're gonna be able to save on that. Made in Thailand. Nice push towards that B side. Exit though from Tebatal. He is just oh so reliable and unrelenting for that B side. At least now, small cost taken, but Kadoop, that's huge. Flip shooter. He was holding on to the up, and now it's gone for the next one.
Yeah.
Boom Esports.
It's massive.
Yeah, like they kind of wanted to save that gun, and it just falls on apart there. You notice though, for Made in Thailand, that was just a great effort from Kadoom basically. Blaze King doing the smart thing inside the smoke, avoiding the boom bot, but that extra hue of purple might have just exposed him. The costume of the Astra a lot more noticeable, and they basically got the push that they wanted. And I like this more from Made in Thailand, since they have to kind of assess the situation with not the best ways to garner that intel. All they have is the KO anyway. If they can figure out at least how to clear out more of these more, I'd say, often angles that Boom Esports takes, and Boom is trying to play something a bit different from what is accustomed to them, that's the advantage that Made in Thailand can get. But here we go now. 3-round gap here, Ilu, and Flip Shadur wants to play it close.
Oh, it's a good shot from Tevatal.
Toxin screen down.
To bring things back here. Oh, to Flips Jitter, he sees one. There's backup right around the corner. Del and I think really saved Alone's life in that one. He was already tagged up pretty low. So the rifles that are in Boom's possession, they can still maybe make a case that they can take this game already in round 22. But Kadum, who has been the best improved player of this game, certainly will have to say something about it here. Oh my God, gets another one. And wall bank kill, gets out. The lone Phils who gets another one. 180, not gonna land, but Tevatal coming in from the flank, want to fly. Definitely gonna be checking that corner. He gets a nice tap onto another, and that's gonna be Myth taking their double digits, getting 2 rounds away.
Yeah, One the Flying is just so good at these transfers and these duels, basically. I think also Tevatal, he might have started reloading there, if my eyes did not deceive me, as he ran on in. You can see for Kadum from 0 to hero, basically. He had one a while ago, now he's at double digits. Wanna Fly, oh so consistent. So Made in Thailand, they have a few of these cheeky angles that Boom Esports doesn't really respect too much. And one thing I noticed is it's just such an awkward off angle, but they somehow make some of the lurks happen from the entry points of the rappels. You can see it there from the Brimstone hiding in the corner. A while ago, it was Wanna Fly just crouched on around. And there are these small nuances that Made in Thailand can get to psych out Boom Esports that I feel like for Boom, a more standardized defense is what is more successful for them. We've seen the Viper setup, the Breach setup. When they get that kind of value, it's Made in Thailand right now running into their own demise. Opto in the hands of Berserks. 3 ultimates ready here for Boom Esports. This might be the round, even though they don't have the fullest buy here to actually finish off the job.
Yeah, well, now time for us to see whether this buy, this operator, can take Boom over the finish line. Okay, Flip Jadur with a quick flick. That's another one, but Kadum is really good on those refrags right now. Not missing a beat. And then looking for another entry here as he to get on towards the side. Almost got that spray transfer, but Frostmind was ready for it. This is looking like it's going to be GG. This is looking like it's going to be Boom taking it, especially with Frostmind getting that kill. Now all up to Alone in a 1v3.
All alone on site. He's trying to get that tap. But Esports, they brought in the thunder, they brought in the intellect, and now all they need to do is just peek it out. They get the intel onto Alone phase with that jump peek. 10 seconds left. Nothing on the side of mid right now. And now the other arm comes on out for the aftershock. Here comes the flank. And Blaze King now toying with his with the pushes here. And Berserks will get the takedown. This is the Boom Esports experience. They have been bringing in the intellect. They have been bringing in the utilities. They're bringing a completely different flavor into APAC for this year. 30-10. A great rally from Made in Thailand in the second half. But it was Boom Esports in control from the get-go. And they admit, if you search it, it might not even be the first result of this matchup right now. So it really goes to show that there is that history, there is that intersect you mentioned. There's just so much of the community coming together right now to just keep on getting better. And you notice also that for the teams right now, for Indonesia, for Thailand, there isn't really that changing of the guard at the very top. New faces come on in, step on up, and contend for the top spots, yes. But Boom still up on top. Sersha there on the other group. They're the ones still there. The first seed Made in Thailand. This is the newer face that I wanted to mention. And we're going to be getting into the game. And Boom Esports looking to keep the status quo with the first kill there, courtesy of Berserks. And the A-split though from Made in Thailand. They're going to be running double initiator, but it's the Breach rather than the Sky. The flip shooter has on the other side for Berserks now. Going for the barrage. Finds the second kill already. already onto Kadu. Blaze King though, the master of the frenzy apparently gets the kill.
Oh my.
Makes it the second. Oh, it's Flipster there helping on out as well. But the crossfire is through, and Dylan now the only one left. The pistol scrap towards that A site. Made in Thailand, they do see the carpet towards A, but it's Boom able to chip away against those lives bit by bit.
Yeah, it was just to me not a very convincing execute towards that A site, man. I mean, let's take another look at it here. Blaze King should not be allowed to reload like that. Okay, yeah, let's attribute it a little bit to that smoke that came out that just helped save his life a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, I just see a lot of hesitation. I don't see that bloodlust, that killer instinct, you know, on that attack. That they were maybe questioning themselves a little bit. We saw it even earlier in Fracture. That maybe was the difference between taking them taking a lot of rounds or not. So maybe slow things down yet again here for Made in Thailand. That's kind of where a lot of their success was found on Fracture. And kind of avoid those early rushes. It was a pistol round, sure, but those add up.
I think for this map though, Made in Thailand can play a faster speed if they choose to, because they can have better intel. But the assessment was successful for Made in Thailand last time with Fracture, and since they only have the Sova compared to the Sova Sky setup that Boom Esports has in the first place, well, Boom might be the ones to figure out what the plan is before it's even executed. In case in point right now, you already have Berserks here, just feeling how hot he is with his hands, with his Sheriff itself. And he's only actually going to have that pistol, not going to be investing on the Marshal for a round like this. Kadoom, though, on the flip side, trying to find a punish. Quick disengage, though, as Boom notices that they're playing from so far away. Might get sniped on up as the rotation is towards Seaside instead.
In this, I'd say, rivalry matchup between the two regions. Or seeing, and I love that we're already starting to see rivalries. It just goes to show that there is a budding scene already. But Kadoom, okay, we'll get that nice entry on this eco round. I think that they've already succeeded. If they get that plan, it'll be more than enough. But they find 2 kills already. Oh no, awkward timing as Flipjitter pulls out. What is going on in this round? Everybody's dead.
So awkward. From Boom Esports, a few errors here and there. 19 HP, finally Conquer it dies. But that could have been cleaner from Boom. I'll be honest, they get a claw to try and wipe the table, but apparently it's still messy, it's still stained, and they realize that, oh, really they need to do some of these things. You saw Frostmine push, but Made in Thailand set up an interesting shock dart there from Alone Pills, and he literally walks into the... He walks into it, so he just gets tased immediately. And for Flipsitter, not keeping an eye out on his ammo count, brings out the classic, gets traded there by Alone Pills. So at the very least, the Sova there of Made in Thailand making opportunities out of nothing in that round. Still though, it's 2-0 for Boom Esports. Could have been cleaner, yes. The scoreline doesn't lie that for Boom, they can have someone like Berserk still pop off, get that Blade Storm early. Bit of a buy though actually here for Boom, so not really the fullest bonus they would like thanks to the efforts a while ago by Made in Thailand.
Oh, gun round now here from Myth. As they will be once more playing very, very far back with good reason. Look at how Boom has set up their A attack. 3 players right around the bend, and I love. Wait, that shock dart stopped the Owl drone.
I got the spike.
Right?
Seems like it. No intel for you.
Whose
so
shock dart was that? This is what I want to know. Was that I didn't see. I think it was Blade King. Yeah.
Yeah, he's the one. He only has 1 shot right now in his arsenal.
Oh, that's so smart. That's so smart because instead of shooting shots and letting them know that they're close, gives them a little bit more of an element of surprise. And through the wall, Berserk will find Dylan. Great flash here. Boom are just so clean on this, but spitting back here on mid side. 3v2. They know where another one is. They're just finding them time and time again and mowing them down. Boom Esports with a clinical textbook retake. And it all came, and I think it all stems from the fact that Blaze King shock darted that Owl drone.
I'd love to see if we can get a replay of that, honestly, just to see how impactful it was, what kind of sightlines. But they were ready for this. The wraparound, basically, for the retake. Who comes in as a 3-man squad from the lobby? Apparently, these guys, we can see here, nice flash, this one Flipsinger. And it's lovely to see him on something like the Sky. He has really evolved as a player to become more flexible. Used to just be that incredible raise main from NXL. But he is just that initiator flex. He can play alongside Berserks, play with him, play with that Jets, and play, of course, for himself with the pop flashes if need be. Great bonus one here for Boom Esports. And mids, middle, they got a bit of that range in the middle. They still had to deal with things like the garage, and Templeton was able to wrap that one up. Opnum is bought on out. 4 rifles in the hands of Boom Esports as the regrowth is there to keep Berserks topped up. But if mid here can actually pick off Berserks and find a way to utilize that advantage to go towards that A site, we'll give them a chance. Thing is, though, it's a interesting scrappy buy right now for mid. Half buy for some. Sheriffs are there. They should have enough money for the next round, though, but Boom Esports, they still have to be careful because there might be a bit more firepower that they expect here from mid.
Well, the Guardian in the hands of Congo Red has been quite the weapon. We've seen time and time again, but they will be now still struggling, grinding to a halt here towards A. Nobody really making any meaningful progress. They're just waiting. And it's only 40 seconds left. Sure, they're going to be going for this at around 35, probably. Flashes come in. Flips Jadur. Good for the hold on to Kadum. Flips Jadur with another.
Down A.
It's going to be Congo Red with a tap, like we said. So dangerous on the Guardian. But Berserk denies it. Oh, he's blind to bits. There's just nothing he can do about that. It's all up to Alone in the smoke. He's just going to get sprayed down in a second now. Nope, Berserk does it with the triple kill. Well done. Boom Esports, this is just clean, textbook performance from them time and time again with the defense.
It's so sad to hear Alone feels alone at the end.
Yeah.
He's alone.
It's happened quite a bit too.
Yeah. Lone survivor, right? Many times they're Fracture, many times they're here on Haven so far, actually. And really goes to show that he has been impactful as a second wave for Made in Thailand. But the problem is, he's running into the site and there's no one really else to help out. He just has to play for himself and just try and do some damage against Boom Esports. Great work though by Flip Shadur. He did whiff. Honestly, great pop flash into smoke, but he did whiff. Luckily, Berserks were there with the frenzy. Beyond that, it really goes to show how comfortable he has become playing like agents like the Sky, playing all of these different initiators for the team, for the flexible role. And you can really see just how coming into 2022, these quads and these certain players for the teams have shifted from that double duelist mindset that we got a lot last time into really this more utility-based composition and a single entry right in front. I think the pioneer really of that had to be that Extend roster, that Sersha from last time. And it's interesting now that after all of the evolutions and after all the World Series we've seen here at Valorant, the rest of the scene also looking to capitalize on more utilities to work with. But Conga Red keeps it simple. There's the intel, there's the peak, and the push now coming in from mid.
Off your feet!
Well, that's the Rolling Thunder to start the play off. Nobody's going to be on site. A little bit more for good measure, a little bit speculative than anything. The retake comes in immediately. They don't even want to let them plant. But Delan is prepared for the counter push. Flip Jadur looks the trade, but it's Alone who gets it. Blaze King on site will only get one. A little bit premature on that retake here. Feel like they should have given them a little bit more space. I get the play. I get that they wanted to catch them off guard here. It's clearly not working out for them because Delan was ready for the double peak.
Yeah, Delan is so good at defending these side takes, basically. As soon as he's done with the smokes and he has the control of the sight lines, he knows what angle he can work with to get a single double kill before he gets traded up. And we saw this a while ago on Fracture, the Sheriff out of nowhere from the Brimstone getting those takedowns. And case in point, if Made in Thailand actually survives with enough players going for those side takes and someone like Alone Fills or someone like Dylan can actually assist already, it makes such a stark difference because this squad has a lot of potential firepower. They're just not getting the sync that they would like, but this is now a problem because Blaze King wants a freebie and will get there versus Wanna Fly. Apparently, he's now Wanna Fry because that electricity onto Killjoy getting that takedown.
Yeah, well, sometimes you just get a
spike dropped.
Fry like an eagle.
I can't believe you went with it.
What? I tried, man. It wasn't an easy pass, dude. Like that was definitely a Hail Mary, and I was reaching. I was reaching
you just
for
drop
it.
It's like that was an ass right moment. It's like, drop it.
I'm sorry. It's early in the morning. This is like gamer early morning for us.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, we were doing a bunch of things last night all around.
You were. Okay, we are.
You
Okay.
were too.
I'm trying to
I know.
pass the blame here,
You want to
but
find it?
you won't let me do that. So, okay,
Of course
well,
not.
we're getting towards that inside hit again. Oh my god, that's
Ooh,
just
30
so awkward
seconds
for
left.
Berserk. He dashes into his death.
Blinded.
Guess this time can't get anybody, but Dylan with another
Player
double.
standing.
How is he allowed to get these time and time
Spike
again?
down A.
It's gonna be Blazing to close things off. Okay, bringing us back into reality. They snapped back into it.
Yeah, let's step up a little bit to what we've seen
There goes the gravity.
Nice
Well,
mom spaghetti. Can we break down the round now?
yeah, all right, I'm
Go
done.
back.
We're good.
Can we go back to Valorant? So keep an eye out on the short angle, right? This is Berserk going for the pickoff, but a great heads up here from Congo Red
30 seconds.
and Dylan at the same time. They use the cosmic divide, knowing that they're going to be relatively
One
safe to
enemy
actually
remaining.
pinch the
Spike
jet
down
there. So
A.
investing a lot just to catch out Berserks, but over onto the graffiti, since it's only one guy coming in from short, and they use that to make that sandwich happen towards a long angle, no one's actually watching out on the left-hand side. So the repeaks there from left and right, Boom Esports confident enough even to peek through the cosmic divide, giving them that vantage points. And while it was a good play from it was an even better reaction from Boom Esports as we go to a timeout.
Yeah, I do think that this timeout is very, very aptly placed to. Don't want Boom Esports getting hot. Don't, and again, it's going back to these cold starts every single game. Why is that? I'm the myth somehow in these games of always starting warm. It's like they have to, you know, build up a lot of steam before they can actually start performing. Yet again, Kadum with 1 kill in 7 rounds. Wannafly right there with him.
Sentry.
And last game, Wannafly was the top fragger. Without that, this is the kind of score that we're seeing.
Yeah, it's gonna be painful here for a minute, and I think coming into a map, they still need to get used to the Boom Esports play style, what they're willing to do, what they're willing to hold on, and sometimes you need a hero to just get that kind of momentum, and Kadum just decides to go for the full send. The knives there to get that takedown for Cirques. Ready now with the off, got the shots, has the blades available, and Sizzo also right-click for Kadum. He doesn't have his ultimate anymore. Pinch comes in though from Boom Esports, flips your again, pop flashed out, perfectly timed, gets the blind on 2, but Dylan is amazing, and he gets a classic kill anyway. Kadum now, also using the pistol there, 1v2, free guns, beating the buy, and for Cirque, Dylan gets a 3K with the classic! What is this? Why bother buying anything? If Mid can just play classics and win the round!
It's like they hear us. It's like they hear us and it's like, no way you're gonna win this. And they're like, psych, I'm gonna get a triple kill with a classic. It's a free gun.
Remaining.
And then Kadum gets the double kill. Most of their kills, the Blade Storm doesn't get a kill. Forget that. The classic is what works.
I love the classic.
Welcome to APAC, ladies and gents.
Yeah, guys, again, you want to get good at the game, get good at the classic, because free gun, by the way. Nice right click, bro. Great.
I love this region, man. It's just the most fun.
Have you ever thought of gun that shoots 3 bullets at the same time? No. Oh, well, that's 1 bullet now from the operator, but still. What? Amazing from Mid, and that's the beauty of Mid. Honestly, these guys, they have that experience from playing for quite a while, even though they come from different teams, and they just know how to I'd say exploit the game a little bit more, just to optimize some of these interesting tools. And of course, in a lesser buy, I don't think Boom, you're not really the classic inclined kind of roster unless Frostmind here will show us a Dylan and take down Congo Red.
Don't say it, man. Just pretend it's like the white elephant. You just don't acknowledge it. Just pretend it's not there. That people aren't winning these rounds with classic triple kills. Then maybe it'll go away. Maybe we'll see rifle rounds that are actually, you know, that make sense.
I love the classic. Everyone loves the classic.
Fair enough. It is what we signed up for. It is the most fun to watch.
30 seconds left.
Well, C-side is open. This round is fairly, I think, done here. I'm gonna curse it this time. I'm gonna jinx it. This is pretty much done here. There's double anti-lurks on the flank anyway. And
that's nice.
Frostman's already dead, so turret will see him. Wannafly's right there too, so.
I mean,
oh, he's going for exit.
Oh yeah,
he's going
just
for
staying
exit.
there. At least he's able to circumnavigate the turret, stay away from the sightlines, and that's the round. Mid looking very confident as soon as they get that thrifty, and I think it's just that intrinsic momentum that they're lacking at the start. But once they get that win,
Yeah.
once we see
But
them,
it shouldn't have to, man. It shouldn't have to go to a triple classic kill to wake them up.
Welcome to APAC.
Okay, well,
That's my only answer to you. That's really it. I think though it was a good sign for Kaduma a while ago. Getting that Blade Storm kill, that was the confidence he was looking for, the willingness to push. And sometimes all you need is that first kill for all the space to work with. And yes, you get that miracle of a classic 3K, but in this round, now we saw something a bit more standard from mid, a lot cleaner on the anti-lurks, as you mentioned. They made sure that they were watching a lot of the map, even the garage there quickly flicks. But also, Kadum now showing off his prowess with the operator. So if Mid can actually punish anyone from Boom Esports who's willing to peek on early, courtesy of Kadum, then that's a good sign for the attacking side to take advantage. And you can see now that Boom Esports has to respond in kind. Up in the hands of Berserks, guiding light there from Flipster through the middle just to assess what kind of sightlines Mid has initially. This just might be the waiting game right now for the defense.
yeah, it's time to hold back. It's a great tag from Berserks. They find him early. That's definitely going to be the key. They're going to try to wait for him to peek out. Op versus Op. Kadum holding the cross for his team. Making sure Berserk doesn't try anything too funny. But, oh no, they needed... Oh, well. That's already a kill. They find the Op, but they still end up peeking him anyway. He gets another one. Berserk's tailwind out. Gets a third. Looking for 4. He does manage to know. He doesn't land it. Pulls out the classic. Can't do it. Del N to get a 1v2 for his team. Cosmic Divide separates and isolates. Not a lot of information for both teams here. The spike will go down safely. No, he halves it.
30
This is
seconds
bad,
left.
though. He peeks into this. It's a double kill. Certainly. Can't adjust to it. Yeah, Del N gets 3. A good